The Three Gables is cozy, dimly lit, with wooden beams, a long bar, mismatched stools, and a dartboard. A fire crackles in the hearth. Outside, rain patters. Residents are scattered around the pub, some drinking, others arguing over a game of chess. The air smells of ale, damp wool, and Joe cigarette smoke. Soft 80s synth pop plays faintly from an ancient radio. Cavi, sipping a Cosmopolitan, barefoot on a cushion. Remind me again why Daniel thought it was a good idea to leave the pub in our hands while he gallivants off to some landlord conference in Shrewsbury. Joe Camel, taking a long drag, exhaling through his nostrils. Probably cause he likes chaos. Likes coming back to see the place wrecked. Calls it authentic charm. Spuds, slamming a shot of something neon green. Authentic charm, mate. The last time Daniel left, Toad turned the cellar into a rave and we had 3 police officers doing bouncy castle yoga at 3 a.m. Toad, indignantly adjusting his cravat. That was a wellness retreat, not a rave, and they loved the ambient dubstep. PC Higgins did 6 backflips. Godfrey, snorting from the corner. Backflips? Right. Nearly landed on me hoof. I've still got phantom twinges in my hock. Jet, stirring his flat white with a paintbrush. Right. So what's the plan? We don't open till 7. We're all technically in charge, but none of us know where the till keys are. Daniel didn't exactly leave a manual. Just a note that says, don't set fire to anything. Probably. Trip. Grinning. Lighting a fake cigarette made of licorice. I'll take that as a challenge. Bill Clutterbuck. Peering into the fireplace. I once spent 6 months alone in a lighthouse during a storm. No radio, no food, just a jar of pickled eggs and a copy of Moby Dick. This is just Tuesday. Sam Payton, calmly polishing his helmet with a cloth. I've put out fires bigger than this pub, so as long as no one tries to deep fry a badger again, we should be. Suddenly, a loud, muffled clang echoes from the cellar. Everyone freezes. The music skips. Godfrey's ears twitch. Joe slowly lowers his cigarette. Spuds, whispering. Did the boiler just insult my mum? Cavi. It came from downstairs. You think it's rats again? Carmel sipping wine. Serene, rats don't bang like that. That sounded like something hitting metal. Repeatedly. Like a prisoner. Super Ted, nervously clutching his red cape. Or something alive that didn't get invited to happy hour. Dick Spanner. P.I. Adjusting his hat. Voice low and gravelly. That wasn't an accident. That was purposeful. Deliberate. Calculated. Like a shadow in a back alley with a switchblade and a vendetta. Joe Camel. Or the washing machine finally started judging us. Frankly, it's about time. Toad. Well, I say we go down and confront it. With dignity. And perhaps a cricket bat. For defense. Or offense. Whichever feels more dramatic. Pat. Scratching his head. Or, we could just ignore it. Last time I investigated a strange noise in the cellar, it turned out to be Godfrey trying to mate with the boiler. Godfrey. That boiler was warm. And unattended. And, look, it was a dark time alright. Jet. Right. Enough chat. I'll go down. I've dealt with burst pipes, gas leaks, and one time, a raccoon with existential dread. Whatever it is, I'll fix it or break it. Bill. I'll come with ya. Safety in numbers. And I've still got my lighthouse flare gun. Sam. And I bring the fire extinguisher. Just in case. Trip. Ooh. Can I come? I brought my new flashlight with the strobe mode. It's haunted mansion ready. Spuds. I'll come too. I've got a feeling. And not just from that green drink. Toad. Then it's settled. We descend into the bowels of the Three Gables like brave explorers. Or very drunk miners. They all head toward the cellar door. Jet grabs a crowbar. Bill loads his flare gun. Sam clutches the extinguisher. Spuds fiddles with his trench coat. The others follow. Nervous. Excited. Annoyed. Jet pulls open the cellar hatch. Darkness. A creaking ladder descends. Jet. After you. Sunshine. Spuds. Hard pass. I go last. Safer that way. They descend one by one into the dark. A damp, low-ceilinged cellar. Crates of beer. Dusty bottles of wine. Cobwebs. A single bulb flickers on as Jet pulls the cord. Silence. Just the sound of dripping water. Carmel softly nothing. Just old mops and the smell of mildew and regret. Cavi. And Joe's forgotten packet of Benson and Hedges. Classy. Trip. Wait. What's that? At the far corner, partially shadowed. A gunmetal gray pod sits chained with thick iron links. It's cylindrical, with a dome top and a single glowing blue eye. It doesn't move. Spuds. Blimey. Is that a futuristic toilet? Super Ted. It looks familiar. Like something from a cosmic comic book. Dick Spanner. Crouching. Scanning. Unknown model. Unknown origin. But those chains. Industrial grade. Bolted to the wall. Someone wanted it contained. Toad. Perhaps it's an avant-garde sculpture. Daniel's been so into modern art since he discovered abstract suffering. Jet. Or it's a bomb. From the future. With funding issues. Godfrey. Great. So we're either dead or we're pretentious. Bill. Best not touch it. Could be dangerous. Pat. Curious. Takes a step forward. He reaches out. Jet. Pat. Don't. Pat's finger brushes the cold metal. Suddenly, the dome rotates. The white eye flickers. A mechanical whir rises. A voice. Cold. Synthetic. But eerily articulate. Speaks. Dalek. Quietly at first. Pat Rick. Sea lift ton. Everyone jumps back. Pat. How does it know my name? Dalek, you delivered mail. To Sarah's hospice. Every Tuesday until the end. Pause. You never told Julian how proud you were when he won the school spelling bee. You were fixing the fence. Later, you said. Later never came. Pat freezes. His face falls. He stumbles back. Kathy. What the hell? How does it? Dalek. CELLAR. Chicago 1984. 4th month. You didn't want to tell anyone, but you cried alone, in the shower, for 3 days. The pregnancy test was positive, then gone, like a whisper in the wind. Kathy gasps. Carmel puts a comforting paw on her shoulder. Carmel. No way. Dalek. CARMEL. 11 years old. Your father, shot by a fox hunter, drunk on brandy and superiority. You watched from the woods. You didn't scream. You learned silence. Carmel's breathing hitches. She stares at the ground. Spuds. Oh, that's enough. You don't get to just spew. Dalek. SPUDS. 15. Her name was Charlotte. She said she was 18. She wasn't. You knew. You kissed her anyway. The guilt keeps you awake. You call it hustling. It's hiding. Spud staggers. Face pale. Trip. That's messed up. Godfrey. Well, I've never had a kid. Never had a wife. Never been shot at. So I'm golden. Dalek. GODFREY. You were once the fastest horse in Yorkshire. But you lost the race. Because you stopped to help a fallen mare. They called you weak. You called it honor. Now you hide behind sarcasm. Like a coward. Godfrey is silent. He lowers his head. Super Ted. You're wrong. I'm not just a toy. I was given purpose. I saved planets. Dalek. SUPERTED. You were once powered by cosmic dust. Now, you can't even open a jar of pickles. You cling to your costume because without it, you are nothing. Super Ted shrinks back, clutching his cape. Toad. Right. I've had enough. I'm Toad of Toad Hall. I've won regattas. I've flown planes. Dalek. You crashed the plane into a bakery, then blamed the pilot. You bought a zeppelin and set it on fire by accident. You are not adventurous. You are reckless. And your friends only tolerate you because they feel sorry for you. Toad looks gutted. His cravat droops. All the residents are stunned. The Dalek has exposed their deepest wounds. Efficient. Clinical. Cruel. Pat, trembling, picks up a rusted iron pipe from the floor. Pat. You don't get to say that. You don't know anything. Dalek. I know everything. I know your fears, your failures. Its voice rises. Dalek. Pat swings the pipe. Clang. The hit echoes. Sparks fly. The chains shudder. Then, snap. The Dalek's restraints break. It lurches upward, floating slightly off the ground. Dalek. Resistance is futile. It turns its ray gun toward them. Everyone. Oh bloody hell. They scramble back up the ladder. The Dalek follows. Cold. Relentless. Blackout. The residents burst through the cellar door, slamming it shut. They pant. Panic. Jet. Right. Table. Block it. They shove the heavy oak table against the hatch. Spuds throws a chair on top. Trip duct tapes the handle. Trip. Duct tape holds everything. My dad said so. Toad. It's not going to work. It's a sentient future toilet with anger issues. Suddenly, thud. The hatch rattles. Then, thud. Wood cracks. Bill. It's coming up. Sam. Fire extinguisher. Ready. Kathy. Wait. Fire. Are you mad? This place is wooden. Joe Camel. But it's also full of me. And I hate being judged by aliens. Spuds. I've got an idea. Flammable. Reckless. Perfect. Spuds runs behind the bar. Returns with a bottle of 150 proof Dragon's Breath whiskey. Spuds. I've been saving this for my funeral. But this feels more dramatic. Super Ted. How do we light it? Dick Spanner. Allow me. Dick Spanner pulls out a vintage lighter. Flicks it. Flame ignites. Dick Spanner. Every detective needs a spark. Spud soaks rags in the whiskey. Wraps one around a pool cue. Kathy tosses him a matchbook. The hatch explodes upward. The Dalek emerges. Glowing eye scanning the room. Dalek. You. Will. Obey. It fires its ray. ZZZAP. The beam hits the dartboard. Blasting it into splinters. Godfrey rears back. Godfrey. My darts. That was a limited edition, Kenny Logan said. Sam sprays the extinguisher. White foam covers the Dalek. It stutters. But keeps coming. Jet. Now. Spuds. Spuds lights the rag. It roars into flame. He hurls it at the Dalek. Whoosh. The flame catches. The Dalek screeches. A high-pitched, mechanical wail of agony. Dalek. I am. Superior. I am. Burning. It flails. Smoke rising. Joe grabs a bottle of olive oil from the kitchen. Joe Camel. Let's really grease the wheels. He douses the flaming Dalek. The fire roars higher. Dalek. System failure. It collapses. Steaming. Svrandkaz steps forward. Silent. Hulking. Svrandkaz. Time. To throw. He lifts the burning Dalek like a sack of potatoes. Walks to the bar. Heave. He hurls it across the pub. Into the fireplace. The casing shatters with a shower of sparks. Silence. Then, a wet, squelching sound. From the wreckage. A squid-like creature. Pale. Slimy. With writhing tentacles and a single red eye. Crawls out. It screeches. Lurching toward them. Carmel. Oh. That's what's inside. Trip. I'm gonna need therapy. The creature lunges. Toward Pat. Joe grabs a pool cue. Crack. He smacks it across the head. It stumbles. Spuds kicks it. It squelches. Joe raises the cue. Then drops it. Starts stomping. Hard. Brutal. Relentless. Thud. 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 The creature writhes. Squeals. Then goes still. A pulpy mess on the floor. Silence. Smoke fills the room. The fire in the hearth sputters. The residents stand. Breathing heavily. Jet. Well, that happened. Kathy. What was that? Bill. An alien. A monster. A walking trauma therapist with a death wish. Godfrey. I still say it was the boiler. Toad. Sniffling. I'm not just tolerated. Sam. Course not. You're a Burke. But you're our Burke. Super Ted. Softly. I do help. I fixed Trip's bike last week. Spuds. And I do feel guilty. But maybe that means I'm not all bad. Pat. Wiping his eyes. I should call Julian. Just say I'm proud. Doesn't have to be a big thing. Carmel. We all carry stuff. But we don't have to carry it alone. They look at each other. A moment of quiet understanding. Then, the front door opens. Enter Daniel Nate. Wearing a suit. A briefcase. Looking tired but smiling. He freezes at the sight. Smoke. Wreckage. A pulpy alien goo on the floor. The fireplace broken. The bar covered in duct tape and scorch marks. Daniel, did I miss something? Everyone turns. A beat. Joe Camel. Oh. Danny boy. Just another quiet night at the Three Gables. Trip. We fought a Dalek. Jet. And won. Danny. Slowly. A Dalek. Bill. Talked like one of them therapists. Knew everything. Called me emotionally repressed. Daniel walking in. Setting down his case. You believed it? Kathy. It knew things. Private things. Daniel gently. Then it was just reflecting what it heard. From you. From me. This place. It's full of echoes. Memories. Pain. But also, love. He walks around. Looking at them. Really looking. Daniel. Pat. Your son called me last week. Said he wanted to visit. Said he finally got it. Pat chokes up. Daniel. Kathy. That baby, it wasn't your fault. And Carmel, your dad would be proud of who you are. Kathy and Carmel exchange a look. Hold hands. Daniel, Spuds, you're not a monster. You're just Spuds. And Joe, you'll find someone who doesn't mind the smoking. Joe, ha. Doubt it. Daniel, and Toad, we do like you. Even when you buy a submarine and try to commute to work. Toad, it was efficient. Daniel, none of us are perfect. But we're here. Together. That's what matters. He picks up a broom. Daniel, now, who's helping me clean up this mess? Because I'm not paying for a new fireplace. They all laugh. Nervous, relieved, healing. One by one, they pick up brooms, dustpans, towels. Even Godfrey lends a hoof. Super Ted grabs a tiny mop. Kaz sweeps with a tree branch he found outside. Daniel pauses by the cellar door, looks down, shakes his head. Daniel softly, to himself funny. I don't remember putting a Dalek in the cellar. He smiles. Faint, distant. For a moment, his eyes flicker, like he's seeing something else. A woman, a little girl, a life far away. Then it's gone. He joins the others, sweeping, laughing, belonging. The fire crackles again. The radio plays a soft 80s ballad.